Hey everyone, it is me, Carbundance. Welcome back to another topic video. And today I'm just going to actually share my chocolate oatmeal with you guys because several of you guys have asked me about the recipe, and at first I was like, well, okay, I'm just relishing in the sun. I hope the lighting is okay. At first I was thinking, well, should I actually share the recipe? Isn't it going to just make people compare what they eat for breakfast or whatever? But then also I was like, well, it has to be possible to share a recipe, but for me, I know that I just have to be careful with what I share, because I also now in hindsight know that what people share with me or any kind of recipes, I always had this, I felt this pressure to kind of do it exactly how they also did it. And I was like, well, if they eat that in real recovery, then I have to eat that as well. And actually what I eat is not healthy enough, like in comparison and stuff. And I just want to point out, this is not, I repeat, not what I would have eaten in my extreme hunger phase. Just not, it's not. Because I wasn't craving any whole foods whatsoever. So you have to differentiate between someone being far in recovery like me and you, for example, starting recovery. It's just completely a different world. And so I just had no cravings whatsoever for this when I was in my extreme hunger phase, and you're going to see that also throughout the year. And so I basically, I have this video about how to get rid of the food scale. I had to get rid of this food scale in order to make recipes or so. And also in my extreme hunger phase, like in the beginning of my recovery, I just didn't measure in any kind of way. Like I just had to, I just learned eyeballing again, like a kid would, you just pour the cereal in and that's it. And it's like, it doesn't even matter how much it is, because we are training our brain that there's no too much of calories, and we want to relearn trusting our body again. And so what I do is either I eyeball it, or because you guys ask for a recipe, I often eyeball it, but sometimes you also just, I also love a specific consistency of the oatmeal. And so sometimes I measure it roughly, but not exactly. Like these are very, very rough measurements. And so for you guys to be able to imitate it, if you guys like, I had to come up with something. And so please take these measurements as some very, very rough guidelines. So yeah, and also that is something that helped me very much to deal with recipes, or with if I made something for myself later in recovery, after the extreme hunger phase. Just, I don't know if it's too light. Well, yeah. When I had stepped away from the food scale, I kept it up to kind of measure roughly, just roughly. You do not need exacting, and actually I don't, you just don't want to lose that again with your brain. And so for recipes, I kind of switched. If I had to measure something, for example, if you bake a cake or something, I will measure it like with the cup kind of way, the measurement kind of way, it's not really exact. And that's something my eating disorder just really always hated before. It just has to be weighed up to the gram and stuff, and that is just so disordered. And so it's something that you can really implement into your recovery to get away from this exact kind of, this is exactly how many calories I eat. You kind of, your next step from moving away from the food scale is to actually use unexact measurements like, you know, tablespoons, teaspoons, cups, you know. These are just so that your ratios in the recipes are coming out fine. And that's all you need. If you're honest to yourself, that's all you need. If you want some specific consistency, you do not need to know the exact grams in order to get some kind of preferred consistency. And so that's something that I had to struggle against for a long time. And that's something that I used also as a step in recovery. And yeah, so keep that in mind for the recipe. So this is my breakfast is roughly 1.5, like it depends on, that's also something, it depends on how hungry I am. If I'm really hungry, it's going to be more. If I'm less hungry, it's going to be less. But the ratios are, by this recipe, are going to be very similar. So this is kind of the medium kind of thing, what I tend to do most of the times. And so this is 1.5 cups of oats. And for me, the cup is most of the times like a normal cup, like a big, like kind of a normal kind of glass. Something between 200 and 250 milliliters. It's kind of the normal cup size. I know, like, officially the US measurement, I think, is 250 milliliters. It's like 1 cup, but yeah, don't get caught up in that. I know you're like any kind of anorexic or restrictive eating disorder brain wants to just hop onto the details and grab onto it. It really, the only thing that you really need, be honest to yourself, is if you want to have consistency, is just the ratio. We do not want to focus on the amount, the absolute amount that we are making, because in the end we just want to learn to trust our hunger, and we just go based on our hunger, the mental hunger and the physical hunger. And yes, so 1.5 cups of oats, then 1 very heaped tablespoon of cacao. Like, sometimes I use baking cacao, sometimes I use normal cacao. You use whatever you have at home. 1 very heaped tablespoon of date paste. I get the date paste you see in my videos. That's roughly around 3 medjool dates. If I don't have the date paste at home, I take 3 big medjool dates. And optionally, then you can just go crazy on whatever you want to add as well. Like, I just vary between toppings like chocolate. Like, you can use them as topic or add them now, like in the thing. Like chocolate, sugar, coconut milk, any kind of plant milk, nuts of all kinds, fruit, berries, whatever you are fancying. And that is, you have to learn that with your mental hunger as well, right? And then you add 1.5 cup water, and then optionally, you know, if you feel like dark chocolate kind of thing, then you just leave it at that. And if you feel like milky chocolate kind of thing, then you go with, you also add additionally 1.5 cup of milk. I now use plant milk in recovery though. At the beginning of my recovery, it was important for me to challenge real milk, like dairy milk. So whatever you have to do, just saying. So yeah, but that's kind of optional, whatever you feel like. Again, it is about what you feel like. If you can use any kind of recipe to get obsessive about it and getting disordered about it, okay? Okay, for fudginess, because I am all for fudgy oats, like the more it sticks to the top of your mouth, the better, in my humble opinion. You do whatever you like and prefer. So for fudginess, you actually put it into the microwave and watch it, like on the highest degree. I watch it until it kind of tends to spill over, and then I just stop it. And then I just let it sit for, I don't know, for a bit, 15 minutes or something, or whatever. And then I add toppings if I want or not, and whatever, just whatever I feel like. And if you don't want the fudginess, if you like them more runny, then you might want to skip the microwave and you just let it sit. Oh, exactly. I actually have to point out, I did not know that here. The water, the 1.5 cup of water have to be boiling, like from the water kettle. You just pour them over boiling. So I hope that makes sense. You just try it out, what consistency you like best. Let me know in the comments what you like. Also, how you like this recipe. You can send me your pictures on Instagram at Carbundance and let me know how you like it. Okay, I hope this helped and I see you next video. Bye.